but bitches choose to fuck. Put it in their mouth, it ain't no competition. Ow. How this nigga can switch up, he's so nice. How this nigga can cook up with no ice, cuz I throw my bird in the pot. The industry.
What is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Maximilian Must Know. Today we're taking a look at a cheapie that very well might be my favorite cheapie of all time. This one is from the house of Jacques Bogart, and it is called Pour Homme. Now, my experience with this house started about 2 years ago. I remember a thread on Bass Notes where a lot of people are talking about the most potent scent that they've ever tried out, and a huge contingency had said that Jacques Bogart One Man Show Gold Edition was their pick. So I found that one on Amazon for like 16 bucks, and I blind bought it. And my two takeaways from the fragrance were that wasn't a very good fragrance to me. It smelled like an 80s fragrance, and it wasn't even really that much of a beast mode fragrance. It was sort of a dud for me. So a couple months back, I decided to take another look at the house and see if there was anything else within it that might be worth checking out. My thing is that I sort of like to give each house that I own a fragrance from 2 chances, and if I'm not impressed within 2 blind buys, that's usually it for me. You know, you've got to get me on one of the 2 to pique my interest, and I like to have at least 2 fragrances from each house, but at least 1. That's sort of my collecting philosophy. But the fragrance that to me that seemed the most appealing and had the most positive feedback was Bogart Pour Homme. So I did blind buy this one. There's almost zero information on this house. They don't have a website or anything like that. What I can tell you is very little. It's a French house that dates back to 1975. Their latest release was this year, so they're going strong. They have about 22 fragrances in their collection. Bogart Pour Homme was a 2004 release by 2 perfumers, the great Maurice Roussel, who was of course done New Harlem and Rocas Man and Muscat Jour and Nautica Voyage, and a guy named Norbert Bajou. And Norbert has only done a couple of fragrances. None of them are huge Fragcom hits. I believe Bogart Pour Homme to be available in one size, 100 ml of EDT. And guys, I paid 19 bucks for this one on Amazon. The notes on it are lavender and bergamot at the top, orange blossom, lily of the valley and rose in the middle, and tonka bean, patchouli, musk, oak moss, and cedar in the base. Now, as far as your presentation goes, yeah, just a box, gray, Bogart Pour Homme. You've got a B at the top, Eau de Toilette, Jacques Bogart Paris, made in France, right? The B at the top, the barcode, and the batch code stamped into the bottom. And then the bottle is actually really quite elegant. Bogart Pour Homme, it's glass. You've got this sort of plastic piece here. The sprayer is here, and the juice really does come out well. You have to depress it pretty hard to get that juice to come out, but as you can see, it does come out in a very nice, equal, powerful distribution of spray. And you have the B right here. It does pick up fingerprints pretty easily, as you can see, but presentation for me on this one is fine. And as far as fragrance goes, this one is just fantastic. There's no other way for me to say it. As I said, you know, maybe the best cheapie I've ever smelled. A lot of people that I've seen online sort of say that they think this one opens up with cherry tobacco, and I disagree with that. You know, all our noses are different. For me, what I get out of this is just at the top, like a really crisp and clean, almost green lavender note with some creamy and fruity tonka bean. And that combination of the lavender with the tonka bean does sort of give off this like fruity vibe that I could see someone looking at and thinking, you know, like a fruity tobacco. But for me, I think it's just the tonka and lavender forming an accord. Now, that combination gives off this sort of wispy barbershop cleanliness that is just gorgeous, really potent, really beautiful. As this one dries down, you start to get a little bit of florals. You know, you get like a more cleanliness with the lily of the valley and the rose, and you also I get a little bit of a nutty almondy vibe, and I think that probably comes from the orange blossom. So you have this like marshmallow sweetness with the lavender and the tonka, and it just works really, really well. I do think it's a pretty linear scent, except sweetening down a bit as it dries down in your skin, and then turning a little bit woody and musky as it approaches its final dry down phase. Performance on this scent is incredible. I get 10 hours with good projection, a good sillage. I think this is a masculine fragrance in the same way that I found Sartorio and Rive Gauche and Invasion Barbare to be. Definitely can wear this one all year round. Could be a signature scent, and you could wear this one to the office. You can wear this one casually. You can wear this one out in a date. Really, any situation, I think this would be appropriate. For me, I really enjoy wearing this one to the office as a work scent. If you are unable to get this one or just don't like this one and want something different in the same vein, there are only obviously more expensive options than this, because at $19 this is as low as you're going to get. In the mid-tier, you have Rive Gauche, which is like a $40, $50 fragrance. A little higher than that, you have Sartorio, which is, you could probably much find that between $80 and like $150. And then at the top, you have Invasion Barbare, which is about $250 if you get it on its own, like $370 I think, or $380 if you get it with the handmade bust. And then another one I could recommend also in that $100 category is Casanova 1725 by Histoire de Parfum. If someone was trying to talk you into buying this, I think they'd say that you're getting a cheap, unique, classy, versatile scent. It's got a very nice presentation to it. I think it's pretty hard to dislike. I think this one's going to be a people pleaser, and at this price it's going to be hard for you to beat that. I think if someone was trying to convince you to skip this one and not buy it, only thing I could really see is that maybe you don't like the scent, so you won't want to buy it. And I guess if you find those barbershop sort of fragrances dated, then this might not be up your alley. I'm going to give this one a 10 out of 10. There's nothing that I can say wrong with this one. The presentation is nice. It's easy to get. It's cheap. It performs well. It smells fantastic. And it's unique. I really was thinking about this one for a long time. I was thinking, do I give this one a 10 out of 10? And I couldn't think of a reason not to. And I think when you have to think that hard of a reason to dislike a fragrance, there's really no reason to have one. To me, this is a great scent. Go out there and buy it. I highly recommend this one. So guys, that is this week's episode of Maximilian Must Know. I hope you have enjoyed this one. I hope you check this fragrance out, and we'll be back next week.
Let them bitches see me now. They know my niggas winning. We ain't stopping. We gon' keep going. This only the beginning. Get the up and living. And that's only on the case of some of my bitches Puerto Rican and some of them cocaine. I'm a tissue. Spit 'em out.